Good morning, Purdue University and listeners around the country. Welcome into Next Point Wins. I am your host, Matthew Geely. Patriots win the Super Bowl 13-3 last night. We'll have full recap and coverage of that as Tom Brady adds his 6th ring to his legacy that will go down as one of the greatest to ever play the game. My name is Matthew Geely. Thanks for joining us here on this hour-long sports talk show, podcast, simulcast, live stream, whatever you want to call it. That's what we're doing here at Next Point Wins in the turntable in the basement of Cary Quad. If you're listening live on WCCR Purdue and the Tuned In app, hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us. If you're listening later on YouTube, or if you miss any bit of the live segment of Next Point Wins, you can catch that on YouTube at Next Point Wins. You can also email the show, all your questions, comments, concerns, observations, jokes, insults, whatever you want to email me. You can do it at nextptwins@gmail.com. We also have we'll have a little bit of Purdue basketball recap as they continue to roll up into tie for first place in the Big Ten, and a lot more to get to. But first, I want to start off with our guest for this week, because you can't have a Super Bowl party and a Super Bowl recap without a New England Patriots fan. And her name is Ashley Harding. She is a senior here at Purdue University studying mass communication. She works with me in the Purdue Athletic Communications office, so she kind of gets to see behind the scenes a lot of the same stuff I get to see. So we'll talk Patriots, we'll talk Purdue basketball, and we'll bring her into the show right now. Ashley, good morning. How are you doing today?
Good morning.
Ashley, it's I don't know if it's sunk in for you yet after what was, I wouldn't exactly say an exciting game last night, but your Patriots found a way once again to get another Super Bowl. And, I mean, let's first talk about, so you're from Boston. Ashley is born and raised in Boston, so she's been a Patriots fan all her life. And she comes here to Indiana to go to school, and you have to look far, long, and wide to find anybody who even thinks that the Patriots are worth of talking about, because they're definitely not very liked in this area. So how does it feel to be like the villain of the state?
It took a while for me to kind of develop that thick skin, because I had a lot of haters the first couple of years, especially one of my good friends was a Steelers fan, so that didn't help at all. But I stay my ground, and I have 6 rings to prove it. So
see, and that's the type of attitude that I've found with these Patriots. And it seems like every year when they win a title, they find something to like grab a hold of to motivate them. Like this year, it was, we can all say, I mean, after that Lions game early in the season, they looked slow, and then they went on early on in the year, people were calling them done, and that's how they started doing this whole "still here" motto. But it's like Brady and Belichick need to find something, and then once they do, they just want to compete. Do you think that as a fan base that's easy to get behind, like with the world's against us?
I think it's easier once they catch on. I mean, doubters kind of make us play well, and we're definitely, this year we were more of a playoff team than we were a regular season team. I was nervous in the beginning of the season. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to have to find a different team to kind of start to root for, so I rooted for the Bears.
Mm-hmm. Good choice.
Sorry.
I wonder why.
But then I think the Chargers game really made me start to believe again, and that was super late in the season. That was late in the playoffs, and it was one more game basically till the Super Bowl. But that was the point where I was like, okay, we can actually play. And it might be late, but I think fans never doubt them. Fans never will doubt Belichick and Brady.
From the Rams 31, shotgun snap to Brady, dropping back.
Sound going through my computer.
Brady sees it.
So let's just go through. I popped up the ESPN app because I want to just kind of go through. I don't want to go drive by drive because that's going to bore a lot of people. But I watched the game with you last night, and there was definitely a roller coaster of emotions as this thing was going on. So I kind of just want to go back to some of the key plays of the game. And we'll just kind of talk about what was going through your head, because as a Bears fan and all you Colts fans, I mean, I'm guessing dominantly my audience right now here on Purdue's campus, walking to class or sitting in class not paying attention, are Colts fans or Bears fans. Maybe you'll have your occasional Packers fan around here, or your Bengals or Browns, but most of it, I mean, we don't get to Super Bowls nobody gets to Super Bowls like this Patriot fan base gets to go. It almost becomes a chore. I mean, if you just listen to some Patriots fans, some like iconic celebrities on Twitter, they I mean, what was this, your 8th trip in a row? Or it was something crazy, like maybe 8th or 9th time at least making it to the divisional round. It's like every year it's almost like an appointment. Like check mark off, yeah, I got to go to the Super Bowl, or check mark off, yeah, I got to watch this game. And so it fascinates me how differently they watch football games than any other NFL fan base I've ever seen. Like, I watched her watch Patriots games all year long, including the Super Bowl, and there's almost like a disinterest almost with the fan base. Like, it reminds me of the Golden State Warriors. It really does. And that's what you see with these dynasties is until they're interested in the game, it's very boring for them. Like, a random game in the middle of October means absolutely nothing to them because they have an appointment set to go to Atlanta to see the Super Bowl. But last night, I saw a flip, like a switch flip with you, with the whole fan base, with everybody online, and with the team to where it was like, okay, this is real now, and I'm stressed out about it. Mm-hmm. And it starts out with Tom Brady throwing an interception on his first pass.
Yeah.
Something he's never done before. Mm-hmm. And his first time, he got sacked in the first quarter, too, for the first time all playoffs. He went 100 times passing without getting sacked. Were you nervous?
I was nervous until Rams went out 3-0 or whatever they went out. They had a punt.
Right.
I was nervous until that point.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see what their offense could do, what our defense could do. And then I saw our defense was kind of playing. So at least somebody showed up.
Yeah.
Our defense showed up.
Your defense showed up, and it showed up against one of the best offenses in the league.
Right.
And it showed up against offensive-minded coach genius that we heard about for the last 2 weeks on how genius Sean McVay was. Anybody who ever came in contact with Sean McVay is getting a head coaching job right now because he's the next young mind. And he said in his post-game press conference, I got out-coached.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
And it's like, first off, good on him for recognizing, it's real recognizing real. It's him recognizing that maybe he's not to the level of a Bill Belichick yet, even though the last 2 weeks the media was piping him up to be that kind of coach. And so Brady throws the pick. You get your 3 and out. I think the Rams went on to punt like 8 times in a row. Mm-hmm. And you miss a field goal. One that Gostkowski has been, I mean, he pretty.
Should have made that.
Yeah, he's pretty automatic from that distance.
Right.
It looked good.
Yep.
You get a field goal, no other scoring, and you're at halftime, up 3-0. How'd you feel?
I wasn't comfortable with that, obviously. I kind of knew the Rams were going to get the ball after halftime. I thought did they score that field goal on their first drive?
No, I think it came.
Later?
It came, I think,
later. It was in
later.
the third quarter, right?
Yeah, it was definitely in the third quarter because it was 3-3 going into the fourth.
Okay.
Looking here, they got it with 4 minutes left in the third.
Okay.
Yeah, so they actually came out in the second half and they punted 2 times, and then they made their field goal.
Right.
But the Patriots also, first 4 series, both sides were punts.
Yeah.
So both teams punted twice, and the Rams got their field goal. Now it's 3-3 going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah. I knew it was going to be a big fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But I said to myself before the game, I don't want this to be a game where it's 2 minutes on the clock, Tom Brady's got to go 80 yards to win the game.
Which we've seen
because I've seen
so
that
many times.
Way too many times, and that's the tipping point for me.
Yeah.
I can't take it anymore. I know my parents can't take it anymore. Patriots fan base can't take it anymore. So I'm not happy that it was 13-3 because the entire game, I will admit, was not the best football game I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's kind of boring at times.
Yeah.
It might seem why you said I was disinterested at some points.
And I think your casual football fan out there was mad on how boring the game was.
They might have shut it off.
Yeah, exactly. If it wasn't for the commercials and the halftime show, which there's no worse fan in the world than the one that shushes you at commercials to watch the commercials or really digs in for the halftime show, which we'll talk about the halftime show. What'd you think of it? Give it a grade.
7.
7 out of 10?
Yeah.
So like a C?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I liked Maroon 5.
Mm-hmm.
Could care less for the people that they brought in.
Yeah, Travis,
I can't even name them.
Travis Scott and Big Boy, which Big Boy was a stretch. He's an Atlanta guy, I've been told. I didn't know him. He was the only one that got a swear word past the the beeper, who that was very entertaining because that guy who was dumping the live audio was on a roll.
Yeah.
But then Big Boy snuck up on him. He dropped an ATL and then the gardening tool, and that one slipped through the cracks, which was entertaining to say the least.
Well,
Travis Scott tried like 4 times and that didn't work.
No, you can't understand what they're saying though.
Right.
So I don't know how you even can catch everything.
Right.
But Audio Dropper was MVP for a while.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely. Now and then the SpongeBob little cameo, that was pretty good.
I missed that.
I know.
I wasn't there.
Were you getting snacks? I don't remember
Probably
what you were
a
doing.
snack.
Yeah. We had a pretty good spread going.
We did.
My mom and dad came through for us with some really good food.
Big thanks to them.
Yeah. I mean, that's always makes super. I mean, that's the other part of the casual fan. It's what can I eat? What can I watch? And there's a game on.
Right.
Is like third most important. Okay, so second half. Let's get back on schedule here. Second half, you start looking and you get your touchdown, and it was the old band coming back together, Brady and Gronk, all the way down the field. That had to feel good.
Felt good.
Yeah.
It did. But I don't know. Gronk's got me worried.
Yeah. It really, yeah. And Ashley's actually heading off to work here after this show. She's working a couple office hours today for the athletic communications office. So we're going to kind of move along here. And I got 6 rapid fire questions for you because Brady has 6 rings. So we'll get through these and then we'll get you out of here. First off, would you have rather been in Fenway for the Red Sox World Series or at the Super Bowl last night?
Fenway.
Fenway.
Do you want a reason?
Yeah.
Because Manny Machado
Yep.
struck out.
Free agent at the moment. Yeah,
Yes.
he struck out to end the game.
Yes, to end the game.
Not a Manny
I couldn't
Machado
ask
girl.
for anything better.
Hmm.
No, not a Manny Machado girl. But I'll admit, I started not to like him when we started to play them.
Sure.
Never really knew much
Find
about
your
him before
villain.
that.
It's the Boston thing.
Yeah.
You find your villain.
Didn't he step on some guy's ankle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I don't want
he's been
that.
known to be a dirty player.
I don't want that.
All right, so you'd rather have been in Fenway. Plus, what can you eat when you're in Fenway?
Fenway Franks.
Number 2, hottest Patriot ever. I'm going to give you Brady, Gronk, Jimmy Garoppolo, Edelman, or the field. Who you got?
Gronk's an airhead, or else I would say Gronk.
Right.
But
We're talking just looks.
I'll say Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine being a fan of a team that had an ugly quarterback?
No, I can't. I can't.
You guys, even when Brady went out, you had Jimmy G step in.
Right.
Before Brady, you had Bledsoe.
Yeah, but now if Tom Brady goes, God forbid, Ryan Hoyer, I can't get behind that.
So maybe that's why he's hesitant on retiring. Brady
Yeah.
doesn't want the hot guy Patriot quarterback
I don't know.
to end.
I don't know.
But I mean, like if I'm a Bengals fan, Andy Dalton's my quarterback. How can you get behind a guy that looks like Andy Dalton? No offense,
if
Andy
you're
Dalton.
a Colts fans listening.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck,
And
come on.
Let's talk about their ugly. Let's talk about their Patriots have a hot quarterback span
Yeah.
going. You go from Peyton Manning,
Oh,
ugly,
Manning brothers in general.
to Andrew Luck. That's tough. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe that's why they don't win many Super Bowls.
I don't think so.
So if hot guy quarterback is the first step to winning a Super Bowl, I think we should do a hot guy quarterback draft. And we'll do mostly, you can go off the board outside the NFL, but let's try to stay inside the NFL. I think it's safe to say Ben Roethlisberger's not going to be picked.
Yeah, safe. Very safe.
We already talked about Peyton. Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, no.
All right, I'll give
no.
you the first pick. Who you got?
Phillip Rivers.
Okay, old.
Very old.
He's got like 16 kids.
He's got ice in his veins, though. He gets fired up like
He does.
he's 25.
Wears the bolo tie sometimes post game. He always dresses nice.
Yeah.
All right. My first pick, this is a no-brainer. I'm taking the silent pretty boy assassin,
Ugh.
Mitch Trubisky.
Of course.
Yeah, old biscuit. Can't go without him.
Yeah.
We're trying to do the Patriot thing. We're getting a hot quarterback in there, and next up is going to be winning some titles as soon as Brady and Belichick say they're bored and done.
Bored.
Yeah.
They're bored winning Super Bowls.
Eventually,
Yes.
you would think once you get to like 9 or 10, you're going to become disinterested.
Well, yes.
all right.
I guess.
Second pick.
Jimmy G.
Yeah. All right. That's a
That's
given.
given.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna take Drew Brees. So my first 2 are givens. I mean, hometown boy here.
Yeah.
It's got the birthmark on the face. It's pretty good looking. And just so everybody knows, in case this hasn't been clear to this point, Ashley is my girlfriend. So me doing a hot guy draft with my girlfriend isn't weird, all right? No unsportsmanlike conduct emails about me talking about hot guy quarterbacks, all right? It's fine. Third pick.
Tony Romo.
Really? Sneaky.
Yeah, was that out of left field?
That's off the board.
Yeah.
Tony
I don't know.
Romo disappointed me last night. I didn't hear him predict a single play.
Well, that's because he didn't have many offensive plays to predict.
True. It was pretty boring. Neither team was spreading it out and gunning it.
He can't predict a punt.
Right.
He can't predict 8 punts in a row.
I know. You're right. All right, my last pick, I'll go Russell Wilson. First off, you're married to Sierra, which is strong. And, I mean, he dresses nice. He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We beat them, too, so I can.
Sure.
Yeah.
Who
he made
haven't
me
you
nervous one time, but
Yeah.
that's fine.
All right, question number 3. Let's get back on schedule here. Would you rather be Bill Belichick or Giselle?
Giselle. Easy.
Really?
She's a model.
Who do you think spends more time with Tom Brady?
Bill Belichick. But Tom and Giselle are probably going to go on a nice vacation after this
Yeah, probably like
Tuesday
Cabo or
parade
something.
that I'm missing again.
Ooh, bitter.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she lives with them. Come on. But
I
I
know.
guess Bill and Tom might live together.
She
in
lives with him
Foxborough.
off season. I'm
Yeah.
guessing Bill and Tom live together during the season. Like I just
Probably.
picture them having like their own little condo,
Uh-huh.
like a high rise in Boston.
Oh, yeah.
They just hang out in,
Hey.
tell gossip stories, and eat ice cream.
Yeah. I'll take an off season, though, than no time at all.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Would you rather be Tom Brady's daughter or Robert Kraft? So Vivian or Robert Kraft? Now, you would think the odds-on favorite is Vivian, and I know that's probably where you're leaning, but just a couple things. One, Robert Kraft did get a kiss from Tom Brady last night, and if you look at the videos, a lot of people are saying it was on the lips. I'm not here to agree or disagree with that, but it looks to be that way. And second, Vivian probably hasn't had a single sweet chocolate or processed sugar treat in her life on the TB12 diet.
Yes.
You look at Robert Kraft, he's definitely had his fair share of ice cream.
He has.
So who are you taking?
I still got to go with Vivian. I have to.
You see that photo of her with the trophy and the reflection of her smiling in
Yeah,
it?
I can't stop looking
You
at
want
it.
to talk about a Christmas card. Anybody out there who still does Christmas cards, you guys are playing for second place. Can you imagine you're Tom Brady's neighbor and you're getting a Christmas card and it's got like $100 in it just because he's Tom Brady and the photo is his daughter staring inside the Super Bowl trophy? It's what a world. Can you imagine being her?
Well, I want to be her.
Yeah.
I want to be her over Kraft.
Yeah, I don't blame you. All right, question number 5, then we'll get you out of here. 2 more to go. Best food in Boston?
Regina Pizza.
All right. What kind?
Pepperoni.
Yeah.
Go with the basics.
Yeah, okay. Last one. Ideal Harry's bar tab. What are you eating and what are you drinking?
Drinking vodka lemonade.
Uh-huh. Any shots?
Oh, Scooby Snacks, Starburst.
So we're tying one off, all right?
Yeah.
And what are you eating?
Quesadilla. The Harry seasoned fries.
Yep. Do you need an appetizer? Or
Stuffed breadsticks were good.
we could be there all day.
We could. Run up the tab. It's fine.
All right. Well, that's my 6 rapid-fire Tom Brady ring questions. She's got to go to work. We're going to step aside for a quick break. We come back, we'll talk Purdue basketball, and I'll do a little bit more recap talking about the Rams, and I can already warn you it's not going to be pretty because Jared Goff is never going to win a title if he plays like that. We'll be back right after this. Ashley, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It was fun. Hopefully we'll have you back on maybe after the Celtics win or
I was
Bruins.
going to say, go Celtics, go Bruins.
It just never ends.
We'll see. Go Blackhawks.
Thank you.
Go
But Bruins are in
Bulls.
first place. Yeah, Blackhawks and Bulls are trying to get the number 1 pick. Welcome to my life, everybody. It's not a good life, but it's my life. We'll be back after this on Next Point Wins. welcome back here on Next Point Wins. If you're just joining us leaving class, you missed a beautiful and very insightful guest, Ashley Harding, Patriots fan, residential Patriot, Tom Brady lover, was just on the show. Go to the YouTube page. You can catch all the action that you missed and all the we did a hot guy draft, which, let's put it this way, you never have to ask me to do a hot guy draft or a draft of anything. I've done cheese draft before, which, by the way, pepper jack, blue cheese, mozzarella, and Parmesan, those are definitely my top 4. I dare you to change my mind on it. Anybody out there who's like going like goat cheese or Colby Jack or just plain provolone, no, you got to stick to the stuff that's great, and that's what's great. Anyways, stay on topic, Matt. We talked about Brady's legacy. We talked about the game last night and her feelings about it. And I think we should just continue on that before we get into Purdue basketball talk. I just want to we got to talk about the Rams, because there were some glaring issues with the Los Angeles Rams and what they tried to do last night. And honestly, if you're a fan of the game, there's some questions that need to be answered, and they are questions that have been asked. So this is something that we need to figure out, because it was inexcusable these last couple games why Todd Gurley was an absolute no-show. Absolute no-show. 10 carries, 35 yards. 1 reception, -1 yards. Halfway through the season, he was your MVP. He was your top MVP candidate. I'm not talking outside of quarterbacks. I'm talking quarterbacks included. He was on a stretch where he was your MVP. And then he just stopped. He quit. If he's hurt, he's hurt. If he's healthy, he's healthy. There is no in between. Because you can't tell me that guy who we saw the last 4 weeks of the season, including the biggest game of his life, you cannot tell me that he was 100% getting 10 carries for 35 yards. There's no way. No way. Him being a non-factor shined a spotlight on some of the biggest glares of Jared Goff's tools and his abilities. Todd Gurley not being effective hung Jared Goff out to dry, and boy did he play bad. 19 of 38, 229 yards and a pick. QB rating 13.4. Overall 57.9. That is horrendously bad. Horrendously bad. Not only that, but you give up a touchdown, you're down 10-3, and you drive the ball from your own 25 all the way down to the New England 27, so you go almost 75 yards. You're 50 yards down the field in the red zone, and on 2nd and 10, you throw one of the worst passes you could possibly throw. That is beyond inexcusable. And I retweeted one of my old tweets last night that I sent out during the Rams-Cowboys game. And it's something that I noticed going all the way back to the Rams-Bears game that the Bears beat the Rams in. When Jared Goff has pressure in his face, and I said this on the show last week to look out for. When he had pressure in his face, he was horrible. He was horrible at knowing where his hot spots are. As a quarterback, pre-snap read, the number one thing you look for is, if I get pressure, where is my hot spot? Where is the spot? If I have pressure from my right side, who on my right side is going to be open? Or who on my right side has single coverage? On who on my left side is a quick slant route? Who is my check down running back? Who is my outlet? Who is my safety valve to get me 3 yards and to keep me alive? Or someone who's near the sideline who I can chuck it 40 yards over their head out of bounds? Who is that guy? You have to have that guy every play. And the greats are great at it. We always talk about how Tom Brady never gets sacked. Tom Brady this, Tom Brady that. That's because Tom Brady gets rid of the ball quick, and his pre-snap read is second to none, which is why he never gets sacked. Hardly ever gets sacked. It's because he can read it before the snap, and he hits his hot spots before they can get to him. Every great does it. Every great does that or extends the play with their legs. Brady can't extend plays with his legs. Neither can Jared Goff. Russell Wilson extends plays with his legs. Mitch Trubisky extended plays with his legs. Now, he, just like Goff, had a lot of trouble throughout the year picking up hot spots and getting rid of the ball quick. That's part of developing. And I'm not saying Jared Goff can't figure this out. I'm just saying that's the next step.
From the Rams, 31. Shotgun snap to Brady. Dropping back. Lobs a throw. For Gronkowski, left.
In his development, that has to be corrected. It has to be fixed. Because you can't have that happen. Not when you're down 10-3 and you finally get a drive put together and you're finally getting some offense and you're finally getting a couple chunk plays down the field. And this goes back to the real problem. On that drive where they go down the field, it's a pass to Cooks for 19 yards. It's a Gurley run for 1 yard. It's a pass incomplete. It's a pass to Reynolds for 11 yards. It's a pass to Woods for 27 yards. It's an incomplete pass to Brandon Cooks, and then it's an interception on a pass that's lobbed up in the air as the blitz came right at his face. He threw it off his back foot. He rainbowed a ball up into the air, and he got picked off at the 4-yard line. 1st and 10 on the New England 27, 4 minutes left in the game. You're driving from your own 25, and you have to throw back-to-back passes to Brandon Cooks. Where is Todd Gurley? Where is the best running back in the game? Where is he? How does he not get a carry? He has to be hurt. And if he's hurt, he shouldn't be dressed because all it was a distraction. If he wasn't, you always say as a injured player, okay, by me playing injured, am I helping or hurting my team? In that situation, he was hurting his team. So if he was full go, then that's just a horrible effort. That's a horrible performance from a really good player. But if he's hurt or banged up to that extent where that's his production level, he shouldn't have been dressed. He shouldn't have been dressed. You can't play like that. You can't. Jared Goff has to get better. This Rams team is one of the best offenses in the league, with one of the best offensive minds at the coaching position in the league. We've heard about it for weeks. Sean McVay got outcoached, and as a team, they took their lumps. Their defense played tough. They made it tough on Brady. But it was different. Rams got the ball. It was 3 and out on their own side of the field, punting it away. It was maybe 1 first down on the own side of the field, punting it away. When the Patriots had the ball in the first half, they were driving it. They got to their 50-yard line multiple times. And then they'd get stuck on like a 3rd and 5 and incomplete pass, and they'd punt to be safe. Rams had no offensive movement in the first half. That's why the score was 3-0, and I'm like, if I'm a Patriots fan, I'm terrified a little bit because my team dominated this game, and we're only up 3, and the other team gets the ball. And if I'm a Rams fan at half, I'm probably like, whoa, we dodged a major bullet. We could be down 21-0 right now, or even worse in this game, but we get the ball down 1 possession with a chance to take the lead. But you come out and you continue to just not be able to move the ball. I get you lost Cooper Kupp early in the year, but you know what they've done? They did a lot of damage against a lot of good teams after Cooper Kupp went out. But you take out Kupp, and then you have Gurley, who's a no-show, and you start to see some serious flaws in that offense. You have an offensive line that wasn't picking up blitzes. A couple times, though, Patriots were rushing 3 guys, and they were getting to Goff. You had a quarterback who 2 series in a row, got sacked on 3rd down. That sacked you out of field goal range. It would have been 3 times if Zerline didn't kick a beautiful kick and hit it to go 3-3. His field goal to get you your 3 points was a great kick after a horrible sack by Jared Goff. So it could have been 3 straight possessions where you were in field goal range and Goff got you sacked out of it. Not good. Not a good effort. And I'll have unsportsmanlike conduct coming up in about 15 minutes. But there's some reaction from this game that deserves unsportsmanlike conduct. But I don't want to spoil it right now. So let's just move on to Purdue basketball, because you want to talk about a group of guys who are playing out of their minds. We talked last week on the show, on our abbreviated podcast, Super Bowl preview and basketball preview show. I talked in pretty good length about how terrifying Penn State on Thursday was going to be. Because as a Purdue fan, we go through these lumps and we go through these stretches where everything's going really good, and then you do something that hurts yourself. It takes you out of contention for things. It's the Purdue way. It's never easy. And Thursday looked like one of those games that was one that was going to get away and was going to hurt us and be self-inflicted. Because you got up big. You got up really big early. And you can't find a way to sustain the lead. And you let Penn State come all the way back and feel like they're in that game. And they take you to OT. I mean, halftime, we're up 6. We start out the game, I mean, absolutely on fire. And it's crazy how much our team has grown over these last 2 months. Coach Painter deserves multiple looks for Coach of the Year. Definitely Big Ten Coach of the Year. There's no doubt about it. You can't lose 4 starters and bring in so many young pieces. Yeah, you have Carson Edwards, which gets you a long way, but we've seen, and we saw early in the year, Carson Edwards can't do it all by himself, and he had no help. Ryan Klein went through a stretch where he couldn't hit anything. One of the coldest stretches I've ever seen. But then you start seeing guys develop and guys grow and find their role, which is so big with a young team. You can't have. It's the main reason why teams like Kentucky, and don't get me wrong, we don't have freshmen like Kentucky did in the past, but it blows my mind how a team like Kentucky can have 5, 6, 7, 8 one-and-dones. 6 of the top 20 players in the country for their class, and they don't win titles. It's because as a freshman, you can't be asked to do too much. There's just a growing curve, and there's a curve for growth and maturity that has to happen naturally. So you can't rely on freshmen to carry the workload. It's why IU went on a 7-game losing streak with Romeo Langford, one of the best players in the country, in his class. It's why you see these teams take their lumps and go on bad stretches. It's because you're asking too much of your freshmen. So for Coach Painter to be able to have a couple strong upperclassmen leaders like Ryan Klein and Carson Edwards, and then to plug in guys who are finding their role in this offense. Eric Hunter, who's the first one off the bench to play defense for No-Gel, who obviously is learning from No-Gel in practice and is obviously taking a lot of what No-Gel does and implementing it into his own game to become one of the best lockdown defenders in the league. To be able, what a weapon it is to be able to put No-Gel on the bench to get. So you tell No-Gel, first 6 minutes, 5-6 minutes of the game, I want you to play as hard and as tight a defense as you can, and I'm going to get you a break. And then I'm going to bring in Hunter, and Hunter is going to do the exact same thing for 4 to 5 minutes, and then No-Gel comes back in. As an opponent, that's got to be beyond frustrating. You have a guy who's given all he's got for 5 minutes, and then he gets to go out and catch his breath, and you bring in another guy who takes over right where he left off. What a weapon that is for Coach Painter. And then you have a guy like Travion Williams, who obviously has some raw talent and beautiful touch around the rim and a great passer. One of the best big man passers I've ever seen. His game reminds me of a young Caleb Swanigan so much. That's why he gets called Little Biggie, because he literally, same number, same style, same makeup. He's going to be phenomenal. And that's why Coach Painter's so good. Like, he's developing these type of guys. Trayvon Williams has found his role in this offense, and he's developing. Matt Harms coming off the bench. That's his role. And he's developing. He's becoming so good. What a spark plug. And what another great weapon for this Boilermaker team to bring in off the bench. The list goes on and on. It really does. The list goes on and on. Aaron Wheeler, who didn't have a great game yesterday, but his high-flying ability, his athleticism, his ability to guard multiple positions and to be active around the rim. Ryan Klein, finding his shot, playing good defense, being a leader out on the floor, making big shots when we need big shots. He made big shots down the stretch against Penn State. And it reminded me, and I don't know what year it was either his freshman or sophomore year. And I'd love to go back, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. I should have done the research beforehand. But there was a game that we played at Penn State, or it was against Penn State in the Big Ten tournament. It was one of the two. But I'll never forget. Ryan Klein. He stole an inbounds and hit a corner three against Penn State. And he stole it, hit a three in the corner against Penn State to beat him. And it was one of the most memorable moments of Ryan Klein's career. And I don't think it was in the Big Ten tournament. I think it was at Penn State. I'm going to look this up after the show, and I'm going to be mad that I wasn't more confident. But I'm almost positive it was at Penn State. But it was a game that we weren't supposed to lose. It was very similar to this game. And he found a way to win it and hit a big shot for us. And he won us the game. And he did that again on Thursday night. He won us the game. And then Sunday against Minnesota, a good Minnesota team who I didn't think was getting enough credit. And I was nervous going into the Minnesota game because Minnesota's a good team. That's one on the schedule that scares me. Still left to play for Purdue, and I will say this is a Purdue schedule that doesn't have many scare me's left on it. It really doesn't. And so I was a little nervous on how calm and cool everybody was going into this game. I thought Minnesota would give us something, and boy, did they ever. They went on a stretch during the second half where they were punching and we were receiving. And then we flipped that switch once again. And that's not something we can do all year long. But you want to find ways to win. You want to find ways to get the job done. 7 wins in a row. 7 wins, and you're gonna have moments, even during win streaks, where it's like, man, we kind of stole one there. But it's all about just survive and advance. I mean, just some of these teams we've beaten now on this 7-game win streak is unbelievable. We've won 10 of our last 11. Smoke Ohio. Beat a good Belmont team at home, so definitely a game we should win. Beat a ranked Iowa team. You take your lump at Michigan State, and then you rattle off 7 in a row, including at Wisconsin, Indiana, at Ohio State, Michigan State, Minnesota. That's a great stretch of wins, and that's why we're first in the Big Ten. Everything went white this weekend. IU figured it out and gave us a nice win. Appreciate it. Can't wait to go to Bloomington later on, and thank you for that win. Michigan goes down. You look at the upcoming schedule for Purdue. 2 big games, back-to-back coming up. You stretch out this win streak to 9 straight, and you're sitting pretty. Home against Nebraska on Saturday or Sunday. Saturday. And then at Maryland the following week. Only 1 game this week. Home against Nebraska. Then you're at Maryland. Keep looking down that schedule. You're home against Penn State. That's a checkmark win. And then you have 2 more mini clumps of big games. At IU, at Nebraska, and then home against Ohio State and at Minnesota to close out the year, and at Northwestern. Your last 2 games are 2 road games. Michigan and Michigan State still have to play each other twice, 1 at each place. That's huge. So at least 3 losses is going to win or tie the Big Ten. If you keep it at 2, you win the Big Ten. it's gut check time. It really is. I look at our remaining schedule and I compare it to a lot of other teams in the conference, like Michigan and Michigan State. We've made it through our biggest lumps. Only having to play Michigan once and Wisconsin once, we've made it through our big lumps. There's no game left on this schedule that I don't think we can win. It's just about continuing to solidify these roles for these players and just finding ways to get the job done, taking your lumps and getting through it. We're going to step aside for one more break here. When we come back, we will have unsportsmanlike conduct, and we'll wrap up shop here on Next Point Wins. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back in just a moment. Back here on Next Point Wins, my name is Matthew Geely. For just joining the show, welcome in. It's time for Unsportsmanlike Conduct, Super Bowl edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Most of my unsportsmanlike conduct's coming from the game. So, without further ado, let's do it.
Now, on unsportsmanlike conduct.
Personal foul, number 15, unsportsmanlike conduct.
That's a horrible call!
All right. Almost all of these are Super Bowl related. Just some, as I'm watching the game, my head's just running, and I just see things, and I read things, and they just bother me. Number one, we got to do something about this post-game the post-game media on the field, because what they did to Tom Brady was horrible. And this is coming from somebody who wants to work in media. The way all those microphones and cameras and photographers were in his face as he's trying to talk to Robert Kraft and Belichick and everybody, that's pathetic. That's horrible. And not only that, but it's good and bad because it gives you an insight on what really goes on down there in that scrum. But it also probably shouldn't have been live. But they had the mic open for the Tracy Wolfson, the CBS sideline reporter who's trying to get in to talk to Brady. They had her mic live, so you could hear her telling everybody to please scoot back, and you can hear like getting hit and pushed and bumped. That's got to get changed. There's got to be a way to make that more, I don't even know what the word is. Fair to Brady, fair to the CBS reporter, fair to everybody. Do none of your cameras have zoom? I mean, some of these guys, their cameras were like in Tom Brady's cheek. Like, what kind of photo is that giving you? Do you not have zoom? I get it. You want to have that photo, but can't we all it's 2019? Can't we start a group message and just send around our photos? They're all the same. It's all the same photo. And then somebody's like, well, can they even get a good photo the way that they're one hand holding it, trying to twist it and turn it to... It's yeah, when you take 4,000, which is what they were doing, they were just constantly snapping them, your percentage says one of them's bound to be amazing. I think, here's my solution. First off, you don't have the CBS interview right then and there. I know you want the raw reaction right away. You can still get that. Brady, Super Bowl ends. Brady goes, shakes hands, whatever, talks to whoever he needs to talk to. You can have all those photographers in his way. That's fine. But you have a little roped off area off to the side where nobody's allowed inside it. Nobody. It's roped off. It's not open for media. And you have her standing there inside it with her cameraman. And he finishes his talk, and he walks immediately over there, and it's still raw. It's still right after the game. He hasn't had a chance to cool off. You're still going to get your response you're looking for, even though it's never what you think it's going to be. It's never actually good. It's like interviewing Bill Belichick before the game. You have to do it, but it's like the worst interview in the world every time. Every coach. You're not going to hear anything. He's not going to tell you your game plan. Well, he's not going to, give you something you've never heard before after the game. It's going to feel amazing. He's so thankful for the guys. It was hard work getting here. It feels good, and that's it. It's every year it's the same thing. So you get a good interview in a roped-off area, and then you move on. You got to fix what happened last night. I mean, there's some big bodyguards in there trying to help her out, and they couldn't keep this just mosh pit of photographers. I don't know if it's always been like that. I don't know if it was heightened because her mic was open and we could hear it and we were seeing it. But that was horrible. Unsportsmanlike conduct to all those photographers, and the whole overall situation of that post-game was bad. Number 2, way too many people online in my Twitter feed telling me that Saints and Chiefs would have been a better, more entertaining game, and we got cheated out of a good Super Bowl, and Mahomes Breeze would have been amazing. Guess what? They didn't win. We don't just look down the list of rosters and be like, that team and that team look like the most fun. Let's let them play for the Super Bowl. And for everybody out there who tells me that this game wasn't entertaining, I get it. To an extent, I get it. I get where Ashley's coming from, and I'm kind of in the same boat as her, where, yeah, it wasn't the most exciting up and down the field game, but for two of us who are actual football fans, there was a lot to watch. There was a lot going on. I like good defense. I like the chess game between the two quarterbacks. I like seeing punters put it on the 3-yard line on a good punt. Yeah, could I have gone with a little bit of that, but still some offense? Sure. But everybody's saying this is so boring, I would only be watching for the commercials. I don't care. I don't care. I do not care. Brady beat Mahomes. Goff beat Breeze. Yeah, you could turn your head sideways on the Goff beat Breeze thing. I get that. But you know what? He's there. So it is what it is. If Goff would have went down the field and scored a touchdown to end the game or tie it up, and then Brady goes down and wins it, or something else happens, we look at it and we're like, that was a great ending to a Super Bowl. You had a 3-3. You had a tie game. Yeah, it was 3-3. But you had a tie game going into the fourth quarter. What more could you ask for? That's drama. Which offense is going to figure it out first? Which defense is going to crack? That's drama. Unsportsmanlike conduct if you thought that was unbelievably boring and you wanted different teams in the Super Bowl. I get you don't like Brady. I get you don't like the Patriots. I get that you don't think the Rams deserve to be there. But they are there. Get over it. Find a new angle. It's tired. It's tiring. It's over. Number 3. I'm almost certain I had this one last year. I couldn't find the clip, but I know I talked about this because it was Justin Timberlake last year, and we talked about the halftime show. To all you halftime show haters out there, unsportsmanlike conduct. That's another shtick that I'm tired of. I saw people tweeting out and talking about how man, Adam Levine doesn't sound as good live. Not many people sound as good as they do live that they do in the studio. That's not a surprise. Halftime shows never live up to what everybody wants. They always get C's and D's grades. Everybody always does it. I thought they were entertaining. I was entertained. The SpongeBob clip was entertaining. Travis Scott coming out was entertaining. Travis Scott having to get bleeped out was entertaining. Big Boy getting away with dropping in a derogatory term for women on TV was entertaining. His I don't even know what type of animal hide skin jacket and tool belt he was wearing was entertaining. Adam Levine and Maroon 5, all their songs were entertaining. When they had the lights go up and it was remote controlled, I don't know how they did it, where it spelled love with the V in his pink color. That was entertaining. The whole show was good. Audio was good. They sounded pretty good. I enjoyed it. If it's not your favorite singer of all time, you're not going to like the show. That's just plain fact. If there's a wardrobe malfunction or the audio's bad, it's one of the greatest halftime shows ever because it's so bad. Like, we like bad ones. When they're pretty good, we're disappointed because it's not amazing. If you were there live, you would have loved that show. It's hard to watch. No one watches concerts on TV and is like, wow, that's really good. No one does. They did some cool things. I liked it. Unsportsmanlike conduct to everybody out there that hates on halftime shows. I get they never live up to the expectation. I get that they never get the grade you think they deserve, but they're still pretty good. And I thought Maroon 5 was pretty good. It wasn't the greatest I've ever seen, but it was pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't know how many hits they had. They got a lot of hits. It was good. It was fun. All right. Final Unsportsmanlike conduct before we close up shop here. I don't know if you guys saw this. Anybody was at Mackey last night, but there's a really, really funny replay on Twitter. Just look up Matt Harm's block celebration. Jordan Murphy of Minnesota. You're going to get unsportsmanlike conduct. Matt Harms had the most Matt Harms looking play I've ever seen in my life. He blocked a shot. He did his normal Matt Harms celebration. He was so excited he blocked a shot. Little did he know that when he blocked the shot, it went right back to Jordan Murphy of Minnesota, and he went up to put up another layup. Matt Harms realized that at the last second, turned around, jumped up, and blocked the shot again. How do you let your shot get blocked when the guy's celebrating about the first block shot he had? Like, you want to talk about adding insult to injury. Unsportsmanlike conduct, Jordan Murphy. You got to be better. And Matt Harms, I like the emotion. I like the energy. That was like the most Matt Harms play ever. To celebrate a block shot and still block another shot is phenomenal. He had a great game last night, by the way. He played really well. Matt Harms did. Jordan Murphy had a good game, too. But Matt Harms was really, really good. Unsportsmanlike conduct, halftime haters, Super Bowl haters, Jordan Murphy, and the Super Bowl media. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Now, on unsportsmanlike conduct.
Personal foul, number 15, unsportsmanlike conduct.
That's a horrible call!
And with that, we unfortunately have to close up shop here on Next Point Wins. Thanks for joining us. If you missed it, recap, Ashley Harding, Purdue Athletic Communications Senior Student Intern. Also, Boston, born and raised, Patriot lover, joined the show in the first 15 minutes. We had a hot quarterback draft. We had, would you rather be Belichick or Giselle? We had, would you rather be Vivian, Tom Brady's daughter, or Robert Kraft? There's a lot that we discovered and we unpacked. Go check out that interview. I'll clip it. It'll be up on YouTube and it will be on my Twitter as well. And we'll have the full show on SoundCloud and YouTube. Next Point Wins. Email me your questions, comments, and concerns. We'll recap Purdue, Nebraska next week. Also, we'll start diving into some NBA and NHL action as football sadly comes to an end, which is really depressing. And pitchers and catchers report, not too long. Still two huge free agents unsigned, Manny Machado and Bryce Harper. Maybe next week I'll get lucky and we'll have some news on that front. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being alongside Next Point Wins. We'll be back next Monday, 10 a.m. on WCCR Purdue and the Tuned In app. We'll see you then.